Hey everyone, I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold here with 5 Minutes with Ben, or in this instance, 10 Minutes with Ben. We're doing World Championship recaps. This is game 4. The game ended about an hour ago. And I didn't watch any of the live commentary because I was sleeping. So I just looked at the game myself and with an engine, and I have my own opinions. This was a very creative game, especially from Ding. And I think the game was very well played, and it seemed like the result was fair. Okay, Ding has white. This is game 4, so tomorrow Gukesh will have white. Trade colors every round. The match currently before this game is tied at 1.5, 1.5 after 3 games. Each result has happened. Gukesh won a game 3. Ding won a game 1, and game 2 was a draw. And we've had the players play different openings on move 1 every game. Ding played e4 in game 2. In this game, he played knight f3. And then Gukesh played e4 in game 1. And then in game 3, Gukesh played d4. So nobody's repeated their first move yet. Until game 5, then probably Gukesh will play e4 or d4. Okay, so after knight f3, white played the relatively topical e3. This has been played a lot recently in the last 10 years. It's gotten relatively popular at the top level. It sort of avoids theory and gives black a tough choice of what opening to transpose into. And after knight f3, Ding played the very unusual b3. Normally, white plays c4 here because c4 is explosive. That's the most common move. And we transpose into some Slav or semi-Slav or Queen's Gambit declined or something like that. Okay, he played b3. It's playable. Not very common. Bishop f5, bishop e2. Black played h6. So the bishop on f5 has a place to go. Now, for those of you who like the London, which is half of you like the London and half of you can't stand the London, sort of like Trump and Biden or Trump and Harris, except Trump and Harris and Trump and Biden, nobody can stand either one of them. No. Okay, so in this position, what I was going to say was, before I forgot, sort of like Trump and Biden, black is actually playing a London. This is a London position, except normally it would be black's move here because black would have white. But you can see these are the London moves. So, and white's playing in a way black could play against the London. Okay, now here's where Ding started playing creatively. I assume this is preparation helped by Richard Rapport, who likes to play creatively in the opening and not play theoretical. And Ding only took 15 seconds on this move, so this is definitely his prep. He played bishop a3 instead of the standard bishop b2 on the nice, long diagonal, which is what they usually do. And the idea is if black moves the e-pawn, white can take and stop black from castling. So in this position, Gukesh thought for 7.5 minutes, since I don't think bishop a3 has been played before. And black played knight b d7, developing his knight. And also, in the case that black moves the e-pawn, black can still castle by recapturing with the knight, which is exactly what happened. So if you're like, what's Ben talking about? Well, you're going to see it. Okay, castles, e6, bishop takes f8, and he took with the knight. So now the knight can move, and then you can castle. And this position is relatively equal. I wouldn't say that white has any advantage. So at the super GM level, typically the players play super theoretical, accurate, complicated, and try to get an advantage with white, and we get to see who knows more theory. And in this match, it seems like theory ends on move 6 or 7, and somebody's in prep and somebody isn't. So here probably Ding is still in prep since he took 10 seconds to take the bishop. He took 35 seconds to play c4. So now the game is relatively boring compared to, like, games 1 and 3, which were super exciting when Gukesh was white. It seems like so far in the match, and it's early, after 10, 15 moves, when Ding's white, the game's boring, and when Gukesh is white, the game's crazy. And that's because both players are playing like that. Okay, the knight moved away, so black can castle. Knight c3, castle. Now it looks like a completely normal position, except you'd be hard-pressed to say how the dark square bishops got traded if you didn't see the game. And the fact that they were traded on f8 is very unusual. Okay, they traded on e5. And again, Ding played creatively, and he only took 8 seconds. He played the move b4. So he wants to get queenside minority advance and get space on the queen side. And his b3 square is good for his queen. He can push all his pawns on the queen side. And, the position's very solid and equal, but at least white has a plan. Okay, black played c6, very solid. Knight d4, attacking the bishop. Now you see why black played h6 earlier, bishop h7. Queen b3. The knight went into the center. The knights are symmetrical. a4. I mean, they're not really symmetrical. They're like a mirror of each other. Rook c8. Very solid for black. White's pushing on the queen side. a5. Now here, black played a move I wouldn't play, but the engine said it's fine. Says it's a good move. It's because Gukesh is better than me. Played b6. Now black, at some point, would like to play c5 and get some space over on the queen side. And in this position, white thought for 12 minutes, and it seems to me white decided, I've had enough fun today, let's make the game a draw. And the engine prefers white slightly if he plays bishop a6, which is a risky move because later black could play b5 and trap the bishop. And we've already seen Ding get his bishop trapped on c2, game 3, so it's maybe he's a little reticent to play bishop a6 and get his bishop stuck on the other side of the board. And here I think Ding decided, let's make the game a draw, because instead of allowing c5 with tempo, played knight f3 and said, hey, let's trade all the pieces off to a boring endgame. And he got his wish. They traded. And black played a move that trades more, d4, trying to give white an isolated pawn after takes, and the d pawn is relatively weak. So he just moved his knight. It seems like d3 is too much because white has knight d4 or whoa, it's not going back. Go back. Or knight f4 or even knight c3. I don't know. I don't know if that pawn's good on d3. Might just be weak. It's not going anywhere. So he took on e3. White has to take back with the d pawn so he doesn't lose the d pawn or have a bad pawn structure. And then Gukesh said, oh, you're playing knight f3 and we're trading everything to draw? Sure, bishop e4. The engine slightly prefers knight e4 and says it's equal, but this is also equal. And now it's a trade fest. Rook d1 attacking the queen. They trade on e4. They trade on b6. Ding says, I'm a super GM. I'm a world champion. I know how to trade. And plays knight c3. And now they're just trading into a draw. I guess both players had enough fun in the opening and middle game. And now they're just trading everything to a draw. h3 gets luft. c5, trading more. Trading more. Trading more. More trades. And this is just a dead drawn position. Nobody really has the advantage. The c pawn's not dangerous because it's completely blockaded. And I wouldn't play f5, but that's probably why I'm not as good as Gukesh. He's just making sure white can never move with pawns with the majority on the king side. And they found a way to trade more. e4. If you play rook e4, then the c pawn's hanging. So he played rook e5. He pins, then black pins, everybody pins, they trade more. And this is a dead draw, and they found a way to repeat. Rook check, rook back, rook check, rook back. And this is the same position 3 times, so the draw was claimed and agreed. Pretty drawn position. Even without the c5 pawn, the position's a draw. And black could never be better after king e4. So anyway, that was a well-played game, I think. And I think at some point, the players are like, yeah, we're playing pretty well. The position's pretty equal. Let's just make a draw and go on to game 5. So I think both players are happy with the result. I'm happy that Ding played bishop a3 and b4 and played sort of interesting chess. And then he just sort of decided, okay, that's enough. And the game was well played. So it turned out that of the games, this was one of the more boring ones. I think game 2 was more boring, but I think a lot of super GMs thought Ding was better in game 2 in a position that I thought was pretty equal. At this game, I would say 95% of the time was just equal. Nobody had the advantage. I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold. Thank you for watching this 5 Minutes with Ben, also known as 10 Minutes with Ben. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment, and keep watching our recaps of the World Championship match. Very exciting match. The score's 2-2, Ding and Gukesh. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with more 5 Minutes with Ben. Bye, everybody.